In this video, we'll look at the learning principle of identity through the lens of character creation in Star Wars: The Old Republic. We'll ask how who we are and who we imagine ourselves to be affects how we learn and how we shape our expectations. Even when we're not playing games, we switch identities every day, sometimes several times a day. Take my experience as a student and a teaching assistant. In one class, I'm the instructor and I have several students who are learning from me. Then the session ends, I walk across the hall to a new class, and suddenly I'm the student and someone else is the instructor. After a 10-minute break and a 5-meter walk, I've switched identities entirely. Role-playing games take these transformations and put them right up in the center of your attention. When I switch from student to teacher, I don't consciously think, now I'm taking on a new identity. But when I decide I want to be a Republic Commando or a Jedi Master, I'm deliberately deciding who I'm going to be when I face the challenges ahead of me. For a designer, this can be really exciting. Users aren't just trying on new capabilities and values and goals. They're also priming themselves for a learning experience. When a user picks up an unfamiliar product, they are, whether they realize it or not, assuming the identity of a student. And that new identity has all sorts of special characteristics. It's an experimental identity, one that expects surprising results and is ready to receive and process new information. And that's great, because student is an identity that functions very, very well in learning situations. But what if the user assumes an identity that isn't compatible with learning? What if, for example, they assume that they are incompetent or just incapable of learning? This is something that happens very frequently with complicated products and can be a huge barrier to entry for new users. This is why character creation is such a powerful model for designers. It tells users two things. First, get ready, you're about to assume a new identity. And second, that identity is up to all of the challenges that lie ahead. With that in mind, let's make a character. First, we need to choose who our friends are. Do we want to be part of the Galactic Republic or the Sith Empire? I'm going to choose the Galactic Republic. In the movies, these were the good guys, people like Amidala or Obi-Wan Kenobi or Yoda. Next, we need to choose our character's class. This is like their profession, the role that they're going to play in the game. We want to be a Jedi Knight, Jedi Consular, a smuggler, or a trooper. I'm going to choose the Jedi Knight. Next comes species, and I'm just going to choose human. I'll make our character female. And now some options come up that let me customize how the character looks. We can do things like change the shape of her face. We can give her different hairstyles. We can change the color of her eyes. Or if we want to just mix it up, we can choose a random appearance, and that's what I'm going to do. And finally, our character needs a name. I'm going to call her Shan. Now we have a Jedi Knight, but what does that mean? And what does that tell us about the future? If we're familiar with the movies, we might remember that Jedis are supernatural characters. They can, as the movies say, use the Force to perform feats that are usually only reserved for superheroes. It's probably safe to assume that our character will be able to use the Force herself. We might also remember that Jedis are heroic characters with strong good versus evil themes in their storylines. Our character storylines might contain the same sort of themes and choices. Once we actually start playing the game, we'll be able to test these assumptions and see if they're true or not. But there's a good chance that they are, and the act of character creation has primed us so that we're ready for them.